Drosophila melanogaster, or fruit fly, is a common house pest found feeding on moldy and rotten fruits. While usually considered a nuisance, they have a special role in science. As one of the first organisms used in genetics and the first animal sent to space, it has been studied for over a century and is one of the most researched organisms in science.
So, genetics in the past was mainly done in fruit flies. That's why Drosophila is so common, that it was the organism in which most of the early biology was developed, and it's quite known in that sense. So how a fruit fly works is documented in quite detail.
Around late 1800s, Charles Woodworth began breeding fruit flies in large quantity to study genetics. Later on, works of Thomas Morgan, which earned him the Nobel Prize, established the significance of fruit flies as an important model organism in contemporary genetics.
Drosophila is an excellent model because it's translucent. It does not have hemoglobin, for instance, so you can visualize proteins with great detail. Besides the fact that it's small and translucent, it's easy to modify.
Over 60% of known human disease genes have a recognizable match in fruit fly genome. They have been used extensively to model the mechanism of several human diseases. Here in BioCity, the scientists are searching for the link between advanced aging and its correlation to genetics through the fruit flies.
And mutations in intermediate filaments are involved in many different diseases, such as cataract, dilated cardiomyopathy, and progeria, which is maybe the most famous disease related to intermediate filaments. Here we are using the fruit fly, Drosophila melanogaster. We are basically using two approaches to study these diseases. One of these approaches is that we are taking a gene, a human gene, that is not present in the fly genome, and we're expressing it in the fly. And by this we want to see if this can give us a lead about the function of this protein in the human. And our other approach is that we are mutating a gene that's already present in the fly that also causes diseases in humans. And we want to see how that mutation affects the fly.
Scientists have been using fruit flies in a study of several human diseases, including Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, autism, and progeria, among others. Studies conducted using fruit flies help us understand better the framework of how our genetics works. Studies done on the brain's rewarding system through reinforced behavior shows that sex-starved fruit flies resort to alcohol consumption. In another study, scientists have evolved a generation of fruit flies with the ability to count. Their small size, short generation time, and high fecundity make them ideal model organisms for genetic studies.
So the reason that people usually choose fruit flies is one, that it's very cheap and there's a really fast generation time, so you can use large populations of flies when you study mice, for example, which are more expensive. And also most of the cellular functions that we are interested in humans, they are the same in Drosophila. And that's why Drosophila is relevant to us when we look at human disease models.
Scientists have been able to manipulate the phenotype of the flies by altering their genes, producing some strange mutants such as the Ken and Barbie flies with no genitals, the candy flies with reduced lifetime, the headless flies, and flies with switchable sexual orientation. The involvement of fruit flies in human disease studies has brought vast insights to the scientific field for decades. For the most part, their contribution has been underrated by a great majority. They have been proven to be excellent models for the study of fundamental biology.
We want a simple system where we can kind of set the ground rules, how life works. We can take that knowledge and develop a pharmacological approach to help humans in diseases that they suffer from.
In the future, I'm hoping that if we can show that the studies of intermediate filament related diseases is relevant in Drosophila, then maybe we can also use the fruit fly as a model to study different molecules as therapies, and we can investigate how these molecules can neutralize the effects of mutations that cause diseases.
When we are looking at these fundamental processes of life, that doesn't change too much. The biology is rather conserved in that field. So whatever works in men, works in mice, works in flies.
There are currently over 7,000 scientists worldwide using fruit flies as a model organism to get a simpler representation of a more advanced system. Fruit flies have long established their importance in the study of genetics, and their significance in scientific research cannot be overestimated.